When I watch a new anime, I love to be left with a feeling of shock and awe. If I'm going to continue watching a show, the first 2 to 3 episodes need to leave me with some sense of yearning, some desire to see more, some level of excitement at what I've just witnessed that makes me bummed that I have to wait a full week to see the next episode. If an anime doesn't deliver that to some degree in the first few episodes, then I likely will not be coming back for more. So believe me when I say, be prepared for freaking blue balls when watching Solo Leveling. Wait, can I say that on YouTube? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce. My name's Will. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. Solo Leveling is the type of story that has caused my little weeb heart to leap for joy every time I have found something like it over the past 22 years. Now, I will admit that reading the manga before the show came out is what caused me to really fall in love with the story, and I highly recommend that you read it because I think we're only going to be getting about 12 episodes of the anime, and that's not really going to even scratch the surface into Jinwoo's story and where Solo Leveling really is going to go. But even without the past experience of the manga or the light novel, it's obvious that the animation stands on its own. Even after only 2 episodes, the Solo Leveling anime is going to be something that is going to take the anime community by storm. While episode 1 was more or less set up to the frenzy that episode 2 delivers, it was well worth waiting in the veiled curiosity of that setup, because episode 2 is literally the linchpin of what the entire series will become. It's also when Jinwoo begins his transformation and starts his journey as a player, and boy, does it start off with a bang. No, seriously, my wife who doesn't watch anime was on the couch with me and kept saying, "What the fuck, man?" Solo Leveling pulls no punches in regards to its brutality and violence, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart or younger audiences, in my opinion. And if episode 2 is any indication as to where the rest of this story and anime is going to take us, my friends, we're in for a wild ride. By the way, this is the point where there will be moderate spoilers in the rest of the video, so yeah, if you don't like spoilers, you've been warned. Episode 1 sets us up with a basic understanding of Hunter society and the previous history of how these gates appeared some years ago, along with the awakening of a bunch of different hunters or super-powered beings so that they can deal with these gates and some of the rules behind these gates, like they're active for 7 days before all the monsters inside the gates can get out, and that's why hunters have to go inside of all of these gates and shut them down in time, and that's typically done by finding the boss and defeating the boss. Episode 1 gives us a little bit of context into that history behind what's going on in Solo Leveling in this new era of Hunter society. Now, with this rudimentary understanding of Hunter society, we're introduced to Jinwoo Sung. Jinwoo Sung is our main character. He literally has the nickname and the reputation as being known as the weakest hunter in the world. Imagine being one of these lucky few to become awakened as a human that basically gets superpowers, but you're the weakest one of them all, to the extent that you don't even really have superpowers. You just kind of can heal a little bit faster than most people. This is no joke. This is Jinwoo's reality. And he also kind of gets sacrificed on an altar, so there's that too. So this guy doesn't really have a whole lot going for him. But in this world, not every single dungeon and every single gate is exactly what it would seem, as we see at the very end of episode 1. Jinwoo and his party go into this seemingly low-ranked dungeon, and yep, you guessed it, he almost dies. But they ultimately clear the dungeon, then they find doors to what seems to be a dungeon hidden within the dungeon. This is what is known as a double dungeon in Solo Leveling. Since the double dungeon is hidden inside of the gate, there's no way for people outside of the gate to analyze it, so there's no way for Hunter Society or the hunters that are currently in that dungeon to know what this double dungeon's power ranking is. And once inside the new dungeon, they realize, oh god, the demon statues are going to kill them all. And that's episode 1. Now, episode 2 starts off right where episode 1 left off, as a giant statue monster start to systematically and brutally kill everyone in Jinwoo's party, one by one. This is the part where the anime gets really brutal and kind of starts to let you know how this anime is going to treat sequences like this, as these party members are systematically killed off in a slow, deliberate, and almost taunting type of a fashion. Seriously, they cut one dude clean in half. I don't even know if I can show some of this stuff. And another guy gets vaporized to the point that his whole body disappears and his feet keep rolling across the ground as people in the background scream in terror. This episode does a fantastic job of illustrating the terror that Jinwoo and his party feel as they try to escape these monsters that are far stronger than they are while trapped inside this sealed room, as that terror slowly slips into a feeling of hopelessness. You start to feel this feeling of hopelessness as a viewer, as Jinwoo and his party run from these giant monsters, and they seem like they have no idea what to do, and it seems like every single one of them is going to be killed. You as the viewer are sitting there watching this, and that feeling of dread slowly seeps into you as well. And to that end, once they figure out a possible way to get out of this dungeon, your heart is already racing and stressed out from seeing party members squished like bugs underneath the giant feet of these monsters and seeing people cut in half, and then you begin to feel this sliver of hope that Jinwoo and his party feel. Hope that maybe there's a way out. Hope that they might not all die here in this dungeon. Hope that, wait, no, Jinwoo still gets tossed around like a rag doll and sacrificed like an animal on the altar. All the while, his inner monologue saying he's not ready. He doesn't want to die. He has family that he needs to take care of too, that he too wanted to go home. And this is where the journey really begins, as Jinwoo becomes what we only know to be called a player, and is, as far as he knows, the only hunter who is able to level up. This anime seems like it's not gonna hold any punches, and honestly, I like that. I don't like it just because I want to see graphic and gory things, but this story is brutal, and this story is intense, and having the animation be brutal and intense and graphic lends to the actual vibe that this story is giving off. Jinwoo is going through one heck of a struggle as he is literally transformed throughout this storyline, and I think this is appropriate. I also think our first look at the Solo Leveling anime was really, really well done. The only real criticism that I would have is that first and second episode honestly felt like one 45-minute pilot that was intentionally cut in half just for the sake of being able to say, here's episode 1 and here's episode 2. There was actually some premieres of Solo Leveling around the world where you actually saw a long episode that was episodes 1 and 2, so honestly, I really think that's what happened. If they would have just premiered episode 1 as these first 2 episodes together, I think it would have done a lot more service to the viewer as a whole for showing them the context of what exactly is going to happen in this show. Additionally, episode 2, the ending was so intense that the Japanese voice actor reportedly was coughing up blood as he was recording those last lines where Jin was being tossed around and beaten and gets sacrificed and all that crazy stuff's happening. He apparently reportedly coughed up blood, and so that just kind of lends some more to show what Solo Leveling has in store for us. My friends, let me know down in the comments below, have you watched Solo Leveling? If not, get over there, check it out. Let me know what you think about this show. I think it's going to end up being one of the next big, really, really popular shows. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, friends, hit that thumbs up button. It's free for you to do that, and it really does help a lot. And if you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. Those things help a lot if you enjoyed this type of content. Lets me know if you're enjoying this. But let me know down in the comments below what you think about Solo Leveling, and if you enjoyed this one, you're probably going to like that one a lot too. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today and be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.